how it works in the biology of the human being. And then hopefully, side by side together in this presentation, I'm going to tell you stories. So in the last 10 years, I have been Young Living. It has been I don't have words for it. It has been an amazing, but also very scary journey. And we're just really hoping that my story, beside the science, could perhaps give you guys a more complete picture and illustration of what you possibly can do to build your culture without having to take the next 10 years doing this, okay? So with that, I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? Now I said I started Young Living 10 years ago. That's about 2010 when I first signed up. 2011 was the first time I invested, put my money in to rent a room, a big deal. At that point in time, we are not sure if this is important enough for you to do this. I rented a room and I invited people in our organizations who are building the business to come for an afternoon, okay? Where we're gonna do a session meeting with the leaders. I thought, she thought, some of us thought that we did an excellent job, okay? We were very happy. We went back home, and that very evening, I received a couple of text messages. The text messages came from one of the very significant and powerful leaders at that point who was building the business and some of her team members. And the text message went like this: "We don't want to come for any of your events anymore." That was like, okay guys, if you're in the beginning of building a business and somebody tells you this, you're crushed, okay? After you put in the money to rent a room, you're crushed. At that point in time, we don't know what we were trying to do exactly. We have something burning inside of us. We know that our business was not going to be the same. There's Jack, Janet, right there behind somewhere. Guys, if you guys know Jack and Janet, they are two of the most wonderful friends that we started our team One Drop with. And when we first sat down, I still remember the day when we first sat down and talked about building our team. We were so specific around how we want this to look like. Yet, after this leaders meeting, I had someone said, we would never want to turn up for your event again. And in there were two specific things that was highlighted to us. Number one, that they felt that the cross-organization sharing that we had at some point was us trying to get them to think a certain way that they're not comfortable with. And in it, they even felt they were trying to rig sales. I don't know how that landed that way. It was never my intention, but it landed that way. Number two, they said, you keep using this word community. It's like, we don't understand what you're talking about, okay? Say it as it is. It's a business, it's a business. It's kind of too fluffy, you know, to call that you're building a community. And so the thing that they weren't comfortable with was they felt that we're not treating the business like a business. So at the time we were shaken, and I cannot say that we got out of it immediately. But I tell you this story because when we first started and tried to build things around what we believe was our value, there were many, many times that we were knocked upon, fought upon, disagreed upon, misaligned upon, and people came to us and it was like, with a roller coaster, you know, it's like one day you're like, yay, this is happening, and then the other day you're like, what if? Okay, I'm not supposed to say it.
It's uncompliant.
Like, yeah, it's uncompliant. So you're just like, you know those moments where you're like trying so hard in your business, it just wasn't working. So building a foundation was not easy, especially at that point in time. We seriously were trying to figure out what we're doing. We didn't have a language around it. We're just treading around slowly. Sometime later, 2013, December specifically, I don't know how to say this, I bang here, bang there, and then suddenly I became diamond. Okay, which means not here, not there, don't know how it happened. I became diamond, and everybody was like, yay! Can I be honest with you? Yeah? I always remember December 2013 onwards because it began the most grueling 2 years of my life. It was the toughest point in my life. Because once I got to a place of leadership, I felt pressure, I felt enormous responsibility. I don't have a system that I could just rattle off the tip of my tongue to tell people how to build this business. And then in the meantime, the backdrop of all of this, there was this particular syndrome happening. I call it the popcorn diamonds. It was like pop, 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 pop in US, pop, 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 pop in Hong Kong. Everywhere, everybody is producing diamonds. Guess where is not producing? Us, back home. And there was just this huge, enormous pressure to just live up to a certain expectation. For some of the people that I'm closer to, they know I got sick. Quite sick. And then at some point, I actually almost wanted to wave the white flag. I turned around to my team and I said, I need to go on a sabbatical. Everybody's like, what do you mean you're going on a sabbatical? Then what's going to happen to us, right? And I said, guys, I really need that break. Guys, I don't know how long it's going to be, 6 months, a year, 1.5 years. I need a break. I can't. I could feel physically, emotionally, mentally dead. I need to go off. So here's the thing. But there was a voice in my head. There was just something not right after I said I wanted to go on a sabbatical. So I know I needed to just, be quiet and prayerful, and I spent a little bit of time by myself. And this one day, I heard a voice said this to me. Kai, you don't need a sabbatical. You need a change of heart. And then it sunk in deep inside that running away was not going to solve the issue. Because when I come back, wherever I come back, it could be the Young Living business, it could be anywhere for that matter, if I come back, it will repeat itself again. Until I have a change of heart, until I could get certain what this is all about, I'm just going to keep spiraling. And so by that time, that was when she started studying about leadership. And then we began to have conversations and words and vocab around what this is all about. And then we realized that all this while, we have been trying to do this one thing, which is called culture building.
And you see, the thing about culture is most of the people cannot really recognize culture. They say that it is a feeling, right? You enter somewhere, or you speak to a group of people and you go, I'm not sure, this group feels different. And then you enter a space, there's something about this space, it feels a certain way. So people associate culture with kind of feeling, and then as such, because we can't really tangibly see culture, people will then say, oh, culture is fluffy. Like what Kai says, some people say that culture is like cotton wool in your head. So because of that, people then don't really pay attention to culture, they pay attention to strategies. Give me the right way to do things, give me the A to the Z out of it. But culture is so important that even the most successful, influential companies and organizations in the world, their priority is to focus on culture. For example, how many of you have been to Disneyland? Raise your hands. Yes, okay, thank you, put our hands. So Disneyland, I love Disneyland for one thing. They give, no, actually they don't give, you have to buy. you have to buy lanyards. This Disney lanyards that you're wearing right now, lanyards, right? And
this is not Disneyland. This is Young Living.
This is, okay. So you get to buy Disney lanyards, and then you get to go to the different booths to buy more pins, you know, the collectibles, there's Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse and all. You can collect whatever you want, and then you can go and trade with people. You can go and trade with the staff members and go, hey, I like that one, let me take, right? And then, so it's very interesting. Now this particular staff member, there was one day she was going, doing her work and stuff, and she was walking down Disney, Magic Kingdom, the main street, they called it. She was walking along, and then suddenly she noticed, what's this? And then she realized that she found a lanyard. She found a lanyard on the floor, and then there was this note that stuck to it. And then it says this. It says that this belongs to a little boy, and says, I'm autistic, and all I want is to collect pins. I really like Mickey Mouse. Now, at that point, the boy's lanyard was pretty empty, except for 1 or 2 pins that he got. Now, at that point, that moment, that staff member went, oh, let's do something about it. So she went to all the different booths, she spoke to her colleagues, and then she went to collect all the limited edition Mickey Mouse pins for him. Right? Collect, and then she started pin already. But here's the thing, where's the boy? She has no idea. So she laid it down, you know, on the floor, you know, a nice angle, she took a picture, and then what's the next thing she did? She reached out to social media. There you go. She posted it on social media, and then she says this, hey guys, you know, I'm trying to look for this boy. I don't know who he is, there's no name, no nothing, and that post went viral. Everybody was trying to search for the boy. Ultimately, they found the boy, they gave this lanyard to the boy, made the boy's day completely. Here's the thing, that staff member, she is not like CEO or COO or whatever, she's most probably like XYZ. Down the hierarchy, okay? But she posted on her own social media, as a staff member. Now here's the thing, if you were to post things on behalf of your company, out there corporate, on behalf of your company, on your personal social media, you need to get scrutinized first. Like, come, let me vet your content, let me see whether your spelling is correct, you know, and stuff like this. But no, not in Disney. Because Disney has a rule. They have a culture that says, here's the thing about Disney, guys. All right, team, we're working as, you know, Disney staff. You have one role. Your role is to make people happy. That one rule set a culture. It created an environment for the staff members to go, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make people happy. I'm going to go out of the way to find this boy if I have to. All right? And you know how successful Disney is? The next one, Pixar. You know, Pixar are the people who are in charge of the beautiful animated cartoons, right, films. Inside Out, the movie, Coco, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, all right? All those beautiful cartoons that, you know, tug at your heartstrings. Now, for them, when they hold a meeting, they will call in the producer, they'll call in the director, they'll call in the screenwriter, they will also call in the graphic designers, everybody. They'll come and sit in a huge meeting and talk about what's the next movie to talk about. They have a rule. They say, all of you, if you see something, or you go, you know, this is not good enough, or you go, I have an idea, every single one in the table must speak up. You must speak up. That is a rule. Because honesty and trust is something that they hold important in their culture. Why do they make sure everybody speaks up? Because in Pixar, they believe that every single individual can see something that the rest cannot see. And then you have magical movies like, you know, Finding Dory and whatnot. Right? So Pixar, Disney, all legitimate organizations that's already working. Simon Sinek, many of you have read his book, Leaders Eat Last. Start with why, his books. He says this, the responsibility of leadership is not to come up with all the ideas, but to create an environment in which great ideas can thrive. The responsibility of leadership. Leaders out there, in fact, I'm talking to every single person here, it is not for you to come up with all the ideas. It is for you to create a space, an environment in which this is the revised version, not about great idea striving. It's for you to create an environment where every single person can thrive in their own way. So let's talk about this. Before we talk about creating a culture, creating an environment where every single person can be a certain way, we need to look at the individuals, the different individuals in the team first. So we're going to talk about how human beings work, right? Okay, so people usually should continue to stay in an organization if they're happy, right? Hopefully. Okay. But some people stay for pain. Okay, so generally, as human beings, we would want to hang around if we're happy, but there are different kinds of happy. So there are going to be 4 hormones that we're going to run through very briefly, okay? Because there are some hormones that make you happy and you have you stay, some hormones that make you happy and it doesn't keep you. So the first one, dopamine. Dopamine. The first part of the word sounds like dope. Dope is a drug, all right? Addiction. Dopamine, however, is a goal-achieving chemical. Goal-achieving chemical, dopamine happens, right, when you get small little wins. Right, small little wins. So for example, you take a nice selfie of yourself, and then you post on Facebook, and then 5 minutes later you go and check on it, and then you go, yes, 23 likes.
I got 45.
Then you went to check hers, you go, oh, got 45. Like, okay, never mind, it's okay, I will come back and check again later. So 30 seconds later, you come back and check again. Alright, and then you go, yes, I got 46.
I got 100.
Okay, but anyway, the more likes you have, the more dopamine happens. So Kai, perhaps you can talk about how this shows up in Young Living.
So we're going to illustrate it with some things that hopefully you can see it clearer. One of the things, guys, that we're receiving all the time, TV promotion. Guys, that is dopamine. So everyone's waiting towards the end of the month to find out. Next month, right? And then next month when the PV promotion shows up, sometimes it's like, yes! Wow! 250 PV, I get X, Y, Z, and then you're super excited. And then some days, you look at it and then what do? You write email to Young Living office because you complain about why the PV promotion sucks this month. Okay? So guys, it is very short. It's like we're constantly competing. Like the likes just now, 40, I must have 45. If you have 100, I must have 1,000,000 likes. So it's very competitive. But PV promotion, guys, it's true. It's a form of dopamine. When people look at it and when they look at, okay, who should I ask to buy this and that, and I can get to that free rose or free whatever it is. I have people getting free energy oil for that matter, and then they go, what do I do with it? After they get it, they're like, what do I do? Okay, so it's just that urge to try to get there, but then that's it. Okay, that's one. Incentives. Distributor created incentives. So above and beyond the wonderful things that Young Living Office does, we know that teams are constantly working and being entrepreneurial. So thinking around what you can create, right? So you have like enrollments, incentives, right? Even though now compliance say cannot X, Y, Z, so you must do things accordingly. But we're constantly still building on that. What else do we have? Oh, so task. So guys, your Young Living business is huge, right? There's like 1,000,000 things to do, and very often many leaders actually teach us, break your task down into bite size, okay? Right, have a checklist, talk to one person today, do a social media post today, send out a package, a care package, give a care core, get in touch with one person in each organizational link. So you have a checklist. Every time you complete a task and you're putting that little tick, it's dopamine. You go like, done, woo, yay, You get that feeling. Have you ever had that feeling like at the end of the day, nothing gets checked? And then you feel like, wallow. And then your day is just like flat, okay? That's no dopamine. But that's an example just to quickly illustrate.
Okay. So the thing about dopamine, like Kai has said, it's never enough. So you get one dosage of dopamine, you go, oh, that's good. The next time, the same dosage comes, it's not enough. You need more dopamine, more and more, okay? So the next one, endorphins. Endorphins is a pain-masking chemical. It is your morphine bomb.
If you know the morphine,
You get it, you get it.
you get it, you get it.
Right. So endorphin is also known as the runner's high. You know, the marathoners, you know, they run, it's like long distance, they're in pain, you know, their thighs are burning, you know, they're sweating, out of breath, their lungs are constricting. But at some point, as they keep going through, the body will start producing endorphins so that you don't feel this pain so much because your goal is important. So in order for endorphins to be induced in the body, two things. Your goal must be, number one, it must be challenging. Taking a selfie, not challenging, maybe for some of you, right? Okay, I have a friend who doesn't like to take selfies. Okay. So number one, okay, your goal needs to be challenging, and number two, the goal needs to have meaning. It needs to be meaningful for you. Without meaning, you're gonna give up halfway. All right, so endorphins, these two elements, how does it show up in Young Living?
Race to the finish, guys, or race to wherever land. Okay, all that competition that there's created as incentive, usually it's a month, 3 months. Those for people who treasure trips, who treasure the rewards, they will go through that pain, okay? Like, I must do it, I'm just gonna get out of bed, I'm gonna enroll, I'm gonna do this, you know, I'm gonna walk through the night to get to that destination, okay? So incentive trips or reward trips like this, rank advancements, okay guys? So you have all the people who are like, going for my silver, going for my gold, okay? And then they're like, oh, just sweat and cheers and blood, and they're upset, and then there's like stuff happening in their organization, but they work through it because there is something important to them, okay? At the end of the day, and that's why they bite their lips and they go, I'm gonna do it. And that whole process, guys, you often hear people talk about why do you want to get to that goal? Okay, so when speakers ask that, there is real reason behind it. If it's not valuable to you, you know, you hear very often people go, I want to become a silver at the end of this year. And then at the end of this year, I am executive. And then you go like, it's okay lah, next year then I do it again, okay? And then we say it, but it has no importance in our heart. So there's just no way you're going to sustain this journey because it is going to be a little bit long-lasting and you're going to work hard. Another illustration is, it's just very general. So how many of you are actually gave up your full-time job and is doing Young Living full-time right now? Just show of hands. Cool, thank you. Okay, now I did that in 2013. Just, well, kind of a little bit before end of the year. And the funny thing about people who give up their full-time job is they give up a 9 to 5 job to do a 12-hour, 16-hour, 20-hour job every single day. It does not make sense. So people look at us and go like, what is wrong with them? You have a nice 9 to 5 cushy work, but you plug yourself out there and you go out there and work incredulous long hours. Endorphin playing over there. That chemical, that hormone, that biology, because it's important, it sustains me. It gives me the energy to keep going no matter how many hours because that, building that is important.
The next one. Oxytocin. Oxytocin is a love chemical. Turn to the person next to, never mind.
I love them? No?
I love you, okay. So oxytocin is a love chemical. All right, I'm gonna give you an example. For example, you're walking along the streets, along the roads, right? And then at a traffic light, you see this old lady with like many bags of Young Living products, many bags of groceries, you know, and she's like frail and old looking, right? And then as you're witnessing her, you go, should I go and help her? And then you see this guy come up and hey, auntie, can I help you? and he helps carry everything and helps her across the road. Now, that act of love, that act of service, it happens to the guy who is offering the help, who is offering the love. Alright? So the guy will experience oxytocin. Like, I feel like I can give, I feel love. The other person who is experiencing oxytocin is also the old lady. There's a third person who experiences a spike in oxytocin. You, who's watching. Isn't this amazing? That the love chemical, even when you're witnessing an act of love and service, your oxytocin level goes up also, and it makes you want to give. Giving, oh my goodness guys, this is like physiologically, biologically in us. Giving creates an environment for people to keep giving. This is not even fluff, you know. We are actually made this way. Okay? So, okay, sorry. I actually love this hormone a lot. So yes, your turn.
Love her. So I'm going to illustrate it a little bit in terms of what we do in our team. We give a lot of love. So sometimes you see our team members going around ridiculously hugging each other and crying for no rhyme, no reason. So the love hormone is working. But really, what we try to do to create this environment is getting people together, not simply for business reasons. So your social gathering, your opportunities to just hang out with, say, one of your downlines, your members, one-on-one, the conversations to really understand what's bothering them. And I don't mean conversations, what's bothering you, that's why you don't want to build a business, okay? Your conversation is in finding out what's going on for this person. Your conversation is around caring for this person. Seeing what you're struggling with, seeing what they really want in their life, that authentic caring is amazing even though you're doing one-on-one. And by the way, oxytocin happens on a face-to-face basis. So for those of you who are very media savvy, it does not happen in such a huge amount over social media, over webinars. It's a human chemistry. You gotta kind of catch up with people, whether it's, again, like I said, one-on-one. We set up appreciation dinner every year, and because we go like, we gotta bring people together, okay? Find an opportunity to say thank you. And it's hard for us at one stage. At one stage it was easy because it was small, so it was very easy to send out invitation and go like, hey, people come for this makan session. You know, at the end of the year, we're just gonna celebrate Christmas, but celebrate just this Thanksgiving, you know, where people have been around. And people came. People came whether they are customers, whether they are on standard orders, it does not matter. There are people who have been there with us. And then one stage, we grew quite big, and we go, wow, the budget, a bit stressed to try to invite and feed every single person. So we came up with a different idea and said, end of the year, we're going to do a Christmas carnival. So we set up something some of you might have attended in Singapore. It's called Joy. It was an event in line. It was just Christmas carnival. There's going to be shopping. There's going to be classes. It's just opportunity for people to give. We were also supporting non-profit organizations. So the ticket entrance goes to a non-profit. So people were just coming in and just hanging around, being with people, that social space around that to breathe, around community and relations to really just flourish. Yeah.
Okay. All right, turn to the person to your left and right and say something good about that person. Okay, very quickly. Okay, like for example, hey, it's good to be sitting next to you. Or if you know this person, it could be, you know what, you're a very loving woman. Okay, so say something nice. Come on, you don't need.
Produce some oxytocin, please.
Okay, once you're done, just turn around and face us again. Okay. Okay, the next one. The next one. We actually ran through this with our teams before, you know, so I was asking them, okay, so the first one is dopamine, second one is endorphin, what's the next one? And they go peppermint.
And spearmint, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, the last one over here, serotonin. Serotonin is a leadership chemical. What does it mean? When you lead that time, okay, when you're up front, you have done many things for your people, all right, you have created leaders in your own right as well, and then your people start recognizing you for who you are. I'm going to get Kai to explain a bit more.
So last night, serotonin for me was very high, okay? And I want to expand on it a little bit. So I get to go on stage. But that was not, I mean, I'm sure for anyone getting on stage, there is a serotonin high. But I think it was more than that. So when I got up there, it was the fact that I could see my team, the faces that mattered, but also when I was standing on stage, there were several different country managers, Karen, there was Tyler, there were just this row of people. And they weren't just country managers to me. A lot of them are friends. And when I get to go up there and see them, they have been in this journey with me for so long. They were celebrating me, but I was celebrating them because I know the shit that they have gone through. They know the shit I have gone through. And it was just this mutual, like, celebration of like, oh my goodness, we did this. It wasn't I did this. It was like we did this. We created something together. So it was a high because it was way beyond the rank, guys. It was the fact that we saw each other as people above and beyond what this whole celebration was about. And that, my serotonin was shooting through the roof, okay? But other places that you're gonna obviously have serotonin is your usual recognition. In our team, we try to create spaces where people can serve. It's one thing to step up and serve by yourself. And very often, it's the easiest to do that. I'm a control freak, okay? You can't tell, but I'm a control freak. But the truth is...
I can't tell, I'm sorry.
I gave you the remote control. Well, but the thing is, how do you create the space for your team members to also contribute? And it's not a black and white thing. I can illustrate some examples. So we used to have different Facebook groups, and we invited our leaders to kind of jump in to manage it. And even in that, we have to let go of certain control, and we have to learn to trust them and go like, you guys manage it, you guys decide what you want to do with it. And every time something happens, we find opportunities to lift them up, to speak life into them, to acknowledge them in front of our team. So on an educational basis, we have groups where we invite people, and you don't have to just be leaders. We want even like fresh out of the oven, just tried the oils, you know, maybe for 1 week. We ask them to share. Because every time somebody steps up to share their story, their experiences, there is a place of significance. They matter. And you want them to matter authentically, okay? So like that is going to have people feel like, I belong here. I'm part of this.
So now let's pull the 4. Okay, we put the 4 into one slide, and this is what you have. Me on stage, okay. So this is what you have. Dopamine, endorphin, Simon Sinek calls them selfish chemicals. Oxytocin, serotonin, he also calls them selfless chemicals. Okay, I'm gonna give a revised version, okay. For me, dopamine and endorphins are accomplishment-centered chemicals, accomplishment. Serotonin and oxytocin, they are fulfillment chemicals. You want to change culture? Let's first talk about the prevalent culture that we have in our world. It's okay, you can go back to the slides, guys. Yeah, I think they need to see this. Thanks. The world that we're in right now, many things that we have around us are designed to increase dopamine and endorphins. Go out there, look at a sale. They say this, hey, buy 3, get 1 free. Don't buy 2, like get 1 more. Get 1 more, then you get it already, then the dopamine shoots up. Right? Okay? And then sign up as an intercontinental ambassador, and then these are the things that you get. Alright? It increases, it keeps having you, it keeps putting you in a space where you go, come on, give me more dopamine, I want to feel good about myself, give me more endorphins, you know, I like that kind of feeling. Accomplishment is accomplishment focus, accomplishment focus. And what's going to happen is this, you realize that it starts breeding an environment of competition, because you're going like, wow, you got 46 likes. Let me compete with you, I want to compete. You get an environment of competition, of scarcity, of greed, and then it starts pulling us into this whole whirlwind of stress, anxiety, panic, despair. Then it leads to your depression, it increases the suicide rates. And we wonder why. Because a lot of the things that we are doing, that we are intentionally engineering in the world, is heavily weighted on the selfish chemicals. Now, the accomplishment chemicals. But here's the thing, they're still important. So it's not about getting rid of it completely. It's about creating and engineering more processes, or like your strategies, engineer it such that you can have a lot more oxytocin and serotonin being created for people. Okay? Because when oxytocin and serotonin, when you're heavy on that, then you get an organization that's filled with, they can look to somebody in the cross-org and go, I know I can count on you. I can trust you. I can trust that you won't poach my people because you will reach out to me. You know who I am. You with me, guys? All right, you start creating an environment of hope, of trust, of love, of honesty, of risking, and things like this. And then you start kicking depression away. You start kicking low self-esteem away. We just need to put the weight heavier on this side.
And I'm going to share one more story. So in my organization, there are two other diamonds. There's Faith, there's Danny. We've had this conversation a couple of times. A very honest conversation. When we say, Diamond, enough already lah. No need already. That is xiong got to do so much work. And we've had that heart-to-heart talk many times when we felt like, how come we don't feel the fire in the belly anymore? How come for the last don't know how many years, we fight, we strive, we do what we do, and then now here already, it's like, cannot lah. The next one cannot already. I am well provided for. Let's just say the rank of a diamond. If you get there, you're well provided for. Your family is well provided for. Then what? Because all that dopamine and the endorphins, fed already. So if you honestly ask me, I'm gonna represent myself. In some days, when there are competitions and races and incentive programs, guys, it does not hit into my head. It's like I have to literally force myself to sit down and to look through all that mechanism and go, okay, if you enroll 1, then you get 10 points. If your organization enroll 3, you know, maybe you get 20 points. And I cannot find that fire. I don't know about some of you. Some of you, that could still work. And believe it or not, like Sheena said, it's still important. But especially when you've been in the business long enough, this alone, if you're just thriving on that alone, it does not work. When we had that conversation, the three of us, and we kept asking each other, are we jaded? Are we going to just say bye-bye and don't want to do it already? And we are all still searching. But for me, the significance came particularly this year, in January, when we did our very, very first retreat for our leaders. Now, I do not have to do it because Young Living has gazillion trips and reward stuff. We pulled out a budget that is probably worthy of my 1 year's marketing budget. And then we said, we're going to find these leaders and their guests, and we're going to take them somewhere, and we're totally not going to talk about business. Now, if you're in the floor, and you were there with us at Overflow, can you please stand up? And I know Jack is right there in front of the cameraman, and then there's Janet right over there. This is not all of them. But I just want you to quickly take a look at these people. Sorry guys, I'm putting you in the limelight. So here, this was the huge thing for me. As they are standing there and you're looking at them, and if they are beside you, you probably never notice anything too different about them, right? Like, okay lah, young living, hi, bye, you know? When we're in that room for 2.5 days, we get to hear their fears. We get to talk about what we were most inadequate about. We get to just cry, like our eyes out. But we get to feed into each other. And this is the thing. Against all that they fear and all that they feel insecure about, they choose to lift each other up again and again and again and again. So when I see these people, each one of them, they are like me, they are like you. We all feel inadequate at times. No matter what rank you get to, you all are afraid at times, no matter how many strategies there are. But above and beyond that, you ask yourself, if you had an opportunity to have a platform and serve people, what do you give to these people? What do you speak life into? How do you lift them up? So that, guys, this is not a marketing strategy. This is exactly what Gary spoke about and what Jared said on the very first day. We have too many business people. We don't need more business people, we don't need more marketeers. We need people to heal. We need people to heal their bodies, but above and beyond, we need people to heal their finances and to heal their soul. And if you're willing to take this platform that's been given to you, and you stand up there and you serve despite the fact that you're afraid, and you love and you give to people, because you have a platform, I guarantee you this business can only flourish. It is a side product of loving and serving another human being. Thank you guys.
Sorry, the presentation is not over. Thank you all, stand here. So the key thing is here. There's one key thing that I'm not sure was the people who stand up, and like what Gary said, it's about healing others. It's not about being healed already, then I go and heal others. The people who stood up, they were examples of, you know what, I'm not filled yet, but it doesn't stop me from making sure that you're okay. And then suddenly, the healing takes place. Because when oxytocin happens, you know, you get it? You see, giving gets you to give and gets yourself filled up. Okay, don't have much time. Let's just summarize.
So building a team culture, I mean, we said a lot of things. Maybe to you right now, it's like, wow, there's a lot of stories. Well, so what tangible takeaways do I really want to go with? So we got one last slide. Can we enter at the end to take picture, okay? There's 4 parts to it. So we want you to kind of really keep this in mind as you go out there and begin to build the culture for your team intentionally. The first thing that you need to really deal with
Is to have a heart. Sorry.
okay, is to start with the smallest unit in a team, which is the individual. And in this case, it's you. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. Okay? When you have speakers, you're attending conferences and speakers constantly tell you, spend time, invest in yourself, go take time and learn about yourself. They are not telling you to just go learn strategies, because if you don't figure out who you are, if you don't figure out your values, what's most important to you, and why you do what you do, then you're kind of going to take that 10 years that I took, you're going to go, oh, this is what I'm going to be, boom, struggle, 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 and then, oh, I'm going to, this is, I think, what I'm about, struggle, struggle, struggle. Okay, guys, put the investment up front. Give to yourself. Take that money and say, every year, this is the money that I'm investing in myself so that I grow me, so that I can serve another human being. And then, when you're very clear, well, actually, that's never going to be very clear, okay? I'm just going to give you a forewarning. Learning about who you are, discovering who you are is going to be a continuous process. But as you get clearer and clearer, this is where you begin to show up in the world and live authentically as that. So if you say that you're about empowerment, so guys, I hear people say, I'm about empowerment. Then they sit in the audience and they're like, I'm about love. I see another human being and what you want to do is get clear of this and show up in life that way. You want to take into actions, and it's scary. You got to take a million small little actions every single day, and then this becomes real, and people can see this as you.
Now, it's not about, okay, I stand for courage, I am about courage, and then after that, you go and take risks all the time. It is not about you. Remember, as a leader, it's about creating an environment. So it's not just, hey guys, I'm constantly on stage, I'm talking, but your team still don't feel courageous. So it's thinking about, okay, how can I create a space? So for example, it could be, you know what guys, it's okay to make mistakes. Try again. You know what, just now you made a mistake, here's what you could learn. Try again. So you're creating an environment where they can learn to step up to be courageous, generous, and whatever you're standing for. Okay, so you need to be intentional in the environment that you're creating for them. Okay? And then as such, you're going to start attracting people. When you start learning to create spaces and environments, you're going to start attracting people closer to you. Why? Because we are physiologically made this way. Psychology has shown time and time again that human beings are social animals. We don't have the hide of an elephant. We don't have thick skin. Some of you do. We don't have thick skin. We don't have the fangs of a tiger to protect ourselves. We were made to stick with one another. And when that environment is created, when we human beings learn to create an environment that we can come together, that's when your ranks will automatically come in. And then the cycle begins again.
And can I just add one more thing? This is completely counterintuitive, guys. Completely counterintuitive. The rest of the world is always going to tell you to spend time in incentivizing. Okay? Our incentivizing will give you the fastest result. And we're not saying, again, remember, here's what we're saying. It is not the only way. You want to build a sustainable culture. You want your people to stick around and do this, not because they just want money, but because they want to stick around. Then you've got to look at the other side of the equation and go, what am I going to do about this? How am I? And it's scary. I bet you it's scary. Because right now, each one of you is going like, shit, I need to go and love the people. Cannot just talk compensation plan. You need to love. And when you love, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. Just like any time when you fall in love. But there's only the good things that's going to come out of it.
Okay, for those of you who don't believe that strategy should come later and culture should come first, listen to somebody else. Peter Drucker says this: culture eats strategies for breakfast. Thank you, bye.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much, Tan and Sheena. All right, I hope